Hello, and welcome back to When I Knew You. We will be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is after Callum returned home, had a conversation with his friends, realized that one of his friends was missing, and had ran away under, I wouldn't say suspicious circumstances because it really wasn't suspicious. They kind of were assuming that he would eventually do it one day or another. But he left without really any warning. And then after having a conversation with his little sister of the person that left, Callum came to the conclusion that he didn't leave on his own volition. He either... Well, something happened to him. That's basically what he's thinking this happened. If you ask me, this is more of a case of people not being able to accept that something happened or that somebody did something. But we'll find out, eventually as the story progresses. So, if I recall, there was also like the surprise that Marcus became a jock and he was like the nerdy little kid that one of them had taken up a new hobby. And by that hobby, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. And one of the girls became a cheerleader and she was like a tomboy when they knew them. So again, for me, this feels like more one of those stories where it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to accept that my friends changed and that people changed and even I changed or whatever. But yeah. I think that's all that happened. I mean, after coming to his own conclusions about what's going on with David, he decided that he's gonna find out the truth. Whether people like it or not, basically. Anyway, so yeah, without further ado, let us continue When I Knew You. Callum. Callum. Callum! What? I jump back, scooting away. Ah, your face. David's laughing hard, holding his stomach tightly and doubling over. My half-awake brain seems to finally catch up and I stand up to punch him in the arm. Idiot, you're gonna give me a heart attack. Hahaha, you were like, wah. Was not. We're two. Hey, David. I look behind David to see Marcus make his way up the small hill over to us. Come on, dude, I told you not to wake him up. But the fort's almost done. He's gotta see it. Still. The fort's almost done? Yeah. Well, kinda. We don't have a door and it's not super stable. Oh, that's not important. The important thing is that we can finally go inside. Finally. Come on, Callum. Let's go see it. He extends his hand out to me and I take it, his grip firmly grasping mine. Suddenly, he starts running at full speed downhill, dragging me along with him. Ah, David, wait! I can hear Marcus yell something at us from the top of the hill, probably to David, but I can't make out what he's saying with all the wind rushing through my ears. Oh, shut up, Marcus. We'll be... As David yells his response, his voice is cut off as he trips, his body lunging forward. David! David goes down on the ground, and I have no time to worry about him, because he hasn't let go of my hand. So I go right down with him. We start rolling down the hill. The only sounds that I can make out is my own cries and the bumping of my head against the rocky dirt and grass. Finally, I reach the bottom of the hill, coming to a gradual stop, silently noticing how David and I got separated somewhere down the hill. Ow. Callum, you okay? I hear Marcus's voice from the top of the hill. Quick pounding steps making their way to me. Slowly I get up on my feet and the world is a dizzy green mess. A sharp pain comes from my left side of my head and I hold it tightly. Ow, 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 ow. Callum! Marcus finally reaches me, panting and with a worried-filled expression on his face. His hands go right to my face though, looking me over as if making sure that I'm not broken. Is your head okay? I think I'm gonna get a bump. Woo! Did you see how fast we were going, Callum? David is only slightly ahead of us, covered in dirt, but otherwise looking more than okay. Yeah, I definitely did. I rub my throbbing head a little, but Marcus puts my hand down. You'll get a bruise if you rub it like that. He then turns angrily at David, stepping in front of me. You idiot, you hurt Callum. Aw, he's fine. Right, babe? Babe. I get a little lightheaded. I'm still not really used to being called that. I blush and give him a small nod. Yeah, I'm okay. See, he's totally fine. You're just being uptight. I can feel Marcus get closer to me, shielding me with his body almost instinctively. You think Mr. and Mrs. Diaz aren't gonna notice that he has a bump on his head? It'll go away. It's like a reminder that we're having fun here. I guess so. Come on, onwards. David starts marching merrily towards the fort, humming a shanty, I think. He's so selfish. It's okay, Marcus. I'm fine, really. I want to go see the fort. He smiles at me, though. He still looks at me with a worried face. Alright, if you say so. The fort came out really cool. You're gonna love it. Da-dun! I present to thee the man cave. Sick. Right? So cool. We could fit beds in here, a TV, a kitchen. Where are you gonna plug the TV? We could fit a portable video player here. That works. Yeah. We could totally live here. He winks at me, making my face turn red. Yeah. Barf. I stick my tongue out at him, and he does the same. Hey Marcus, do we have a soccer practice? Oh crap, yeah, I do. He grabs his old red backpack that's inside our fort. Let's bring some stuff here tomorrow then, to fill it up. Sounds good. Bye Marcus. Bye Callum. He waves goodbye at me, then crawls out of the fort, running towards the clearing to the town, leaving me and David alone. He looks at me and I look at him. Wanna kiss? What? Just kidding. Unless you want to. I'm not allowed to. Such a goody two-shoes. He starts crawling out of the fort. Where are you going? Come on, follow me. David! Come on, just a little more. We're climbing up the tree now, a really tall tree, making our way to the top. Well, I am at least. David's already at the peak. I reach a shaky hand towards him, and he grabs it, pulling me up hastily. I squeal as he does, scared that he might drop me and I fall to my death. But he doesn't, and I am now sitting right beside him on a very thick branch. The view from up here is terrifying, but really pretty. It makes me want to hold his hand. I reach for it slowly, but suddenly his feet are on the branch, and he stands on it, balancing on the tree. David! Relax. It'll be fine. But please get down. He shuffles sideways as if dancing, humming some pop song. David! Alright, geez. He carelessly sits down on the branch again, swaying his feet. Thank you. You're welcome. You owe me though. Huh? He taps his lips with his finger, grinning wide. One kiss. Come on, no one's gonna see us up here. Just one teeny tiny kiss. Please. My heart thumps rapidly and I turn to him shyly. Quickly though. His face lights up and he nods enthusiastically. He starts to lean close to me and I squeeze my eyes shut, feeling like I'm about to pass out. And then I feel him kiss me, softly at first but slowly applying more pressure. After about a minute, he pulls away, grinning wider than before. Hoo-hoo! That really makes my heart go quickly. Mine too. Don't you love that feeling? That... what's it called? That rush of energy? Adrenaline? Adrenaline, yeah. I love that, dude. Is that why you like skateboarding so much? Yep, skateboarding off the ramp is awesome. I wish the skate park here had bigger ones though. He goes quiet, looking at the view beyond the horizon. Callum? Yeah? If I ran away, would you come with me? I turn to look at him, his face practically expressionless. Why would you run away? It's so boring here, dude. There's nothing here that gets my heart thumping. Well, except you. There are so many cool places where you can do a bunch of stuff. Like skydiving or bungee jumping or heck, even scuba diving. The closest ocean to us isn't for like another 600 miles. I want to go somewhere amazing. I want to feel my blood start pumping. He turns to me, smiling, yet I feel like he looks right through me. And I want you to come with me. You're one of the only things that makes me feel like I'm actually alive. David. What do you say, Callum? Would you run away with me? I blink awake, my blurry vision focusing on a red smudge not too far from me. After a couple of seconds, the smudge becomes numbers, and I realize that I'm staring at my alarm clock. It's buzzing loudly, and the time is 12 minutes after it's supposed to go off. I groggily reach for it and slam the stop button. I gotta start using my phone. This clock is fucking annoying. I hear a knock on my door and hastily sit up. Yes? Callum, you up? Yeah, I'm up. Oh, good. Start getting ready. You're gonna be late. Yeah, I am. Alright, breakfast is almost ready, so be quick. Okay. I hear his footsteps fade away, and I jump out of bed, quickly getting ready for the day. Strange. I've never dreamt of a memory before. I'm sorry. I'm in the kitchen now, Dad handing me a panini with cut up sausages and melted white cheddar cheese. I don't even know that he had a panini press. For what? For not waking up early? And not making breakfast myself? He looks at me for a second, then walks over and puts his hands on my head. Don't worry about it, kid. It's my job as your dad to wake you up, after all. Mom would always say the opposite. Thanks, Dad. I'll try not to oversleep again, though. He just nods at me and goes to turn off the stove. It's been 4 days since I moved in with Dad. 4.5 if you count the exact day that I moved in. So far, he's always the one cooking for me, and even though he comes home a little late, he's insistent to cook dinner as well. And even though what he cooks is always delicious, it's been really strange having someone else cook for me. Just sitting around and waiting to be served food makes me feel important, but it also makes me feel useless. I think I'm gonna start making dinner for us, despite his wishes. I gotta help somehow. Biking to school takes some getting used to. I underestimated just how far it would be, but it's about a 10-minute bike ride. Sometimes I long for Marcus's truck and consider asking him for a ride from time to time, but I don't want to come off as taking advantage of him. Because I'm sure if I asked that he would definitely say yes. That's just the kind of person he is, kind to a fault. Lately I've been spending a lot of time with him, mostly because we have the same schedules. The initial awkward phase of we're friends but we haven't seen each other in a while so we're being careful about what we say has pretty much fizzled out. I'm still pretty shy around his friends though. Big guys make me nervous, and boy are those guys big. Unfortunately, Karina has been pretty busy, but we see each other in the hall sometimes, and she always gives me a hug when we do. We're gonna hang out today though, I remember, so that makes me excited. I haven't seen or heard from Troy since we hung out on Tuesday though. Hey, Callum. Hey, Barry the Bonfire Bear. What are you? Have you been a good boy, Callum? Good boys get treats. And you want a treat, don't you, Callum? That's a very weird thing to ask. Okay. Yes, sir. I always turn off the lights if I'm not using them. That is a good boy. Well then, you deserve something sweet. This treat's long and brown. I hope it's a Milky Way. Oh, it'll be it'll be milky, all right, all the way down your throat. Say ah. Cal. Barry. Wait, you're not Barry. Who? What? Huh? Fuck. Was I dreaming? I sit up and realize I am, in fact, in third period history class and not in the middle of the woods with a bear. Damn it, I must have slept through the whole class. I rub my eyes and stretch a bit, standing up. I might have fallen asleep. No shit. Who's this Barry guy? Some cartoon character who would always be shirtless for fire safety commercials. Did you dream about him? Yes. Fuck off. Was Barry helping you light your fire? You're sick. I'm not the one dreaming about a shirtless guy in the middle of class. And at 11 in the morning, no less. At least wait till you had lunch to be horny. You are dead to me, Marcus. I grab my stuff and make my way towards the door in quick, long steps. Hey, at least wait for me. No, you ass. I walk out the door and turn the corner, but stop right there. I hear him laughing and calling for me to wait up, his footsteps getting closer to me. I rub my face to try and get the red off of it. Being teased by two large men back to back will do that to you, I guess. He walks out, his face lights up when he sees that I waited for him. You're still here. I couldn't bring myself to walk away. It's you, Marcus. It's always been you. He swoons dramatically, clutching his chest. I don't care what your daddy says. You are my girl. Wow, so romantic. And no way I'd be your girl. You'd be mine. Lies. You don't have the balls. Uh-huh. Look, behind you. It's Barry. Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm not a huge fan of cafeterias. I don't think anyone is, but still. The overbearing noise just gets to me sometimes and I find myself leaving earlier than I should. But spending lunch with Marcus and his friends isn't so bad. As awkward as I am, listening to other people talk has always been entertaining for me. Like I'm watching a random episode of a random sitcom, no context but the dialogue is funny. Marcus and I sit down at the usual table, everyone already there, eating their lunch. Yo. Everyone mumbles a greeting back to him. Sup, Callum? I give him a small wave. Baxter, unfortunately, is exactly how Marcus described him. Annoying, but not in a mean way. I just wish that he didn't choose me as his butt of the joke all the time. Over the past few days, I've been relentlessly teased by him to the point where I get really self-conscious around him. It's not that he's being mean, but he has a knack for completely embarrassing me. He must get a kick out of seeing me flustered, since he does it so often. Hey Callum, can I ask you something? Seems today's no different. I silently sigh and nod at him. What's up? You're gay, right? I freeze up and my face turns red, and when the guys at the table start snickering, I blush completely. Dude. Oh, come on, it's just a question. He doesn't have to answer it if he doesn't wanna. The obvious trap of choosing silence. Saying no comment is just as good as saying yes. Not answering isn't really a viable option. You know what you're doing. I don't know what you're talking about. What's with the question anyway? You interested or something? Maybe I am. Why? You jealous? A similar stare down from their interaction on Tuesday goes down, and it's painfully awkward. Ugh, fuck it. It's not like I'm trying to hide it. Yes, Baxter. Huh? Yes, I'm gay. Oh, right, that. See, he answered normally. You're just being overprotective. I think back on my conversation with Lupe when I went to her house. I guess I really am still being protected by Marcus. I wonder if he just does that subconsciously. Speaking of which, maybe I should ask about David. Anyway, Callum, here's my follow-up question. Or maybe not. If I were gay, which I'm not, but if I was, and I asked you out, would you say yes? Bewildered, I raised my eyebrows at him. If I could raise only one, I would, because... What kind of question is that? A normal one. Think of it like me asking how dateable I am. You're the perfect subject anyway. Think that I could ask a girl something like this? Probably not. Exactly. So, answer me. Fine. Might as well humor him. I give him a once-over. Well, he's definitely handsome, I'll give him that much. He's also pretty nice when he wants to be. A little annoying, but it can be endearing sometimes. I guess... Well, you're kind of in your F-boy era right now. And you kind of have to grow out of that first. Before somebody decides to, go all in on you. So, my answer is no. I'm sorry, Baxter. No. What? Why? You just don't seem like the romantic type. Like, you'd forget to show up to my birthday party or something. Some of the guys who were listening on us snicker and murmur agreements. I can be romantic if I want to. Sure you can. Well, good thing I never asked you out. My poor heart couldn't handle the rejection. Yeah, cry about it. Well, I've got one last question. He says this in a truly mischievous way that makes me fear for my life. Question of the hour. If it was Marcus asking you out, would you accept? Huh? Come on, man, don't make this weird. It's not weird. Callum, are you gonna tell me that you never thought about it? Well... Exactly. It's totally normal. So come on, Callum, give us your answer. The guys around the table seem to be listening more intently. And now, with all the focus solely on me, I'm pretty close to dying of embarrassment. I look over at Marcus, praying that his protective instincts kick in any second now. But he just looks away, quiet and... expectant. What? Does he want me to answer? Somehow my brain starts to wrap around the question and searches for an answer. Realistically, if Marcus ever asks me out... I don't dislike Marcus, far from it. And he has always been the overly caring type, a good boyfriend quality for sure. Not to mention that he's like really hot now. He's always been kinda cute, but now I could picture him in an underwear ad or something. Maybe I shouldn't have thought of that right now. What if I think about this too long and start getting an actual crush on him? Am I that easy? Oh god. This is messing with my head. Better answer quickly. Yes. I guess... Can we, like, move on from this? Someone from the team who I don't really know speaks up, catching everyone's attention. As funny as this is, I don't want to spend our whole lunch hour being gay. Chuckles and agreements echo around the table. Besides, it looks like he's about to pass out anyway. I silently thank this jock for saving me from the embarrassment of giving an answer for all to hear, and swear to repay his debt someday. Alright, let's give him a break. What do you suggest that we discuss? Oh, time manager. Darcy's party for one. What? The Halloween party? Ronnie, isn't that for another month? Yeah, that's the thing. She's already planning it out. That means that it's gonna be big. Oh man, you think? She's like stupid rich anyway, so it's bound to be good. I hear that she's gonna go all out because she's turning 18. Didn't she get like really sick on her 16th? Maybe she's compensating. Oh dude, that's gotta be it. You're all going, right? If you guys don't show up, I swear to God. Dude, of course I'm going. Don't be stupid. I'm actually not sure. What? Dude, why not? Remember last year? My dad's still pissed about that. I doubt that he let me go. Dude, aren't you like an actual adult now? Can't you just go? You haven't met my dad. Oh, come on. He turns to Baxter, pointing at Marcus in a get a load of this guy kind of way. This guy's 6'3" and won't stand up to his dad. Bax? You haven't met his dad. Ronnie now turns to me quizzically, as if to confirm these statements. I guess I am a reliable source here. You, really haven't. Marcus only brought us to his house once, the entire time that I've known him. Troy accidentally broke a vase and, well, Marcus paid the price for it. When Marcus showed us the bruises that he got the next day, God, Troy felt so bad for him. Right. Maybe suck up to him these next few weeks. Maybe. I don't know if this party's worth it. Not worth it? Dude, I heard she's gonna put a slide in her pool. A slide. In her pool. I get it. Hey, Callum. I'm pulled out of the fourth wall, front and center in the sitcom episode. Yeah? Since I'm definitely going to this party, wanna come as my +1? I blink at him, dumbfounded. Why? 'Cause it's a party? I figured that you might not get an invite since you're new. Well, newish. But Darcy always lets us bring a +1 to her parties, so if I bring you, you can experience her parties for the first time. And probably last since we graduate this year. Wouldn't you want to bring, I don't know, a date? Not really. The party's a place to pick up girls, so bringing a date ruins my chances. Ah, right. So... I turn to Marcus, who has been oddly quiet throughout this whole exchange. He's glaring at Baxter again, but once he feels my eyes on him, he turns to me, his own eyes softening the moment that they lock on mine. Are these parties seriously that great? He thinks about that for a moment. Unfortunately, yeah, they are. And I don't trust Baxter to drive you home once it's done. Fair point. Guess I'll have to take you then, Cal. How unforeseeable. Shut the fuck up. Are you sure? I mean, your dad and all. Nah, don't worry. I've been doing good. I'm sure that he'll let me go. And you're not gonna bring a date? Nope, just you. My cheeks turn red, but realizing the situation I'm in, I just laugh it off. The last thing that I want is to be laughed at again. So you're taking me out, huh? Guess so. Hope you're not too disappointed. I'll make do. Well, that settles it. Baxter mutters something to Ronnie, who only nods gratefully in response. Before I have time to wonder what he says, Marcus pats me on the thigh to get my attention. I silently notice that he left his hand there though. Hey listen, Darcy's parties can be pretty intense. If you're not sure about it, you can always tell me. As protective as always. I decide that I should start shutting down his protectiveness of his as soon as possible. Starting now. I'll be fine. It's just a party. It'll be fun, right? Yeah, you're right. You'll be fine. Nice. Progress. And just like that, I was invited to a party on my first week of school. Once class ends, I'm standing outside of the school, watching other students make their way home. Marcus had already gone to practice, but not before asking if we could hang out tomorrow. Apparently, there's some place that he wants to show me. I, of course, said yes, now filled with curiosity. But I don't have time to think about that now, since I'll be spending the afternoon with Karina. I haven't had a proper conversation with her since the diner, so I'm hoping things aren't too awkward with just the two of us. Hopefully we'll be... The world goes black as I feel two chillingly cold hands cover my eyes. Jesus Christ. Guess who? Karina, are you sculpting ice? Your hands are freezing. She lets go of my face with a hearty laugh, then walks in front of me so that I can see her. Nope, just at the auditorium for a while. The AC there is always like that, max level. Without skipping a beat, she wraps her arms around me into a tight hug, and I quickly reciprocate the warm gesture. Oh, but I missed you. I'm sorry that I've been so busy. I felt so bad that we couldn't hang out all week. No worries. We're here now, right? She pulls away with a big grin on her face, her cold hands grabbing my warm ones. Yeah. Aw, I'm so excited to show you the new mall. She had mentioned in text that she wanted to take me there, so it's taken everything in me to not go on my own. God, me too. I can't believe they actually built one while I was away. Well, it's still a little far and out of town, so we'll have to take the bus. She says this with a tone of dread, as if that's the last thing that she'd want to do. But it's totally worth it. There's this store that sells the cutest little accessory thingies. You have to see it. I'm so ready to go broke. That's the plan. She links her arm around mine, and we make our way to the bus stop with a small spring in our step. The ride to the mall wasn't exactly that bad. I think Karina just doesn't like public transportation, but we talked a lot through the whole ride, so I don't think that she paid it any mind. I let her do most of the talking, listening to her tell me about the weird kids that she babysits and all her cheerleading duties. I love hearing about other people's lives. It's such a nice escape from my own. We're here! She stretches her arms around her head, tiptoeing slightly and letting out a satisfied sigh. Well, what do you think? It sure is big. Sure is. Troy would say, that's what she said right about now. The mention of Troy pulls out my heartstrings a bit, but I try to look unfazed. Yeah, pervert. Nah, he's just dumb. I meant you. Me? How rude. And here I was going to buy you an iced coffee. No, wait. I'm sorry. Uh-huh, sure you are. Come on, let's go inside. The cool air of the mall hits me like a soft breeze, the chilliness inviting in the still warm weather. It is a pretty big mall, at least for Pricefield standards, and it has that fairly new building look to it. Although some stores seem to be barren, there are still quite a lot of people here, which makes sense since it's Friday. Ah, that sweet, sweet upper-class mall smell. Right? I feel rich just being here. Alright, so what stores should we go to first? Oh, I guess anywhere with cute clothings will do. I refuse to enter any lingerie stores, by the way. Aw, but I wanted to get us matching panties. Ha ha ha. Maybe some other time. 2 hours and 10 shopping bags later, Karina and I find an empty table at the food court and take a seat. Most of the bags are hers, since I got a little self-conscious around all the boutiques and girly clothing. Karina coaxed me into buying a skirt, though, and she promised me that I could wear anything that she bought for herself. Although I appreciate the gesture, I don't think that I'll be wearing her clothing anytime soon. Maybe on Halloween or something. She drops her bags with a sigh, falling into the seat and stretching her arms over her head. God, I'm tired. And hungry. Oh my god, the cinnamon buns here are so fucking good. Do you want some? We could split a box. Hell yeah. Bring 'em piping hot. For sure, I'll be right back. Take care of the bags. Oh, do you want me to go? I don't mind. Nah, it's fine. Stay here. I'll be quick. She scurries away towards the restaurant booths, disappearing in the crowd. With my moment alone, I can't help but think of how much fun that I've been having since I moved back here. Life without friends in Philadelphia was a lot lonelier than I thought it was. I mean, in the moment it seemed almost normal to be by myself, natural even. It wasn't until the beginning of the week that I realized just how lonely and by effect, sad I really was. For the first time in a while, I have friends and we're hanging out and having fun, and it feels unreal. Ah, that's right. I'm reminded that this happiness isn't free, not really. I have to know more about what really happened. I have to question everyone. Even Karina. Well, you look grumpy. I snap back to reality as Karina sits down with the medium-sized box in her hands and places it on the table. Don't worry, babe. Cinnamon buns are here. She says this in a very sing-songy way, almost as if talking to a child. Eat up. They're nice and hot. Yes, ma'am. The pastry is warm, soft, and incredibly sweet. The sort of baking that you can tell is mass-produced. But oh, so good all the same. God. Food orgasm. Pervert. For this, hell yeah. We laugh and eat in silence for a bit, taking in the flavor. Not long after, though, she chimes in. So, what's on your mind, hun? What do you mean? When I came back, you looked super lost in thought. What was on your mind? Oh, I guess now is as good a time as any. Guess I was just thinking about David. What do we do if we were here? Her expression falls, and I'm worried that I ruined the mood, but it's more apologetic than upset once I notice properly. Yeah, I'm sure that you really miss him, considering you guys were still dating when you left. Did you guys ever even officially break up? No, actually. I think we both just sort of moved on, I guess. That makes sense. No one knew when you'd come back after all. Hey, can I ask you something? I'm supposed to be asking the questions here. Yeah, of course. Do you still love David? Huh? I mean, when you were on your way here, back to Pricefield, were you hoping to get back together with him? There's a strange, powerful curiosity to her voice, as if this has been on her mind for a while now. But why would it be? Personally, I'd say I don't know. Because again, you're just getting back and you're meeting these people all over again, you know? I'm honestly not sure. Maybe I was hoping that we could try and, make it work again. But I know we've changed, so I can't say that I'd jump right back into his arms. But you're not completely opposed to the idea? She says this in a statement rather than a question, like she's confirming this as a true. Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Being apart for so long can make you cautious of them, especially for how long we were apart. David and you might have changed a lot, but no doubt you both still deeply care about each other. I'm sure that you two will meet again someday, And when that day comes, you'll be able to sort out your feelings properly. Perception can be misleading after all. I hope we can see each other again. I'm sure you two will. Hey, can I ask you something now? Yeah, what's up? What do you know about David's habits? She's caught off guard for a second, then quickly composes herself, her expression turning somber and serious. What do you know about it? I stare back at her unwavering gaze. That he was on drugs. A silent moment passes between us when she finally speaks. Well, yeah, it's true. I think it started about a year or two ago, maybe in the middle of sophomore year. I heard he got aggressive with his football team, and even with his family. An upsetting image of David getting violent with Lupe crosses my mind, but I quickly shake the thought away. David would never do that. But if you're asking me the extent of what he did, I honestly don't know. I'm not proud of this, but when he started acting different, I started distancing myself from him. I had a lot of shit going on in my own life, and I just felt like I couldn't be responsible for taking care of him. Not that he'd let me, even if I tried. But yeah, anything that I know is secondhand. Huh. I see. Do you think Troy had anything to do with it? With what? David doing drugs? No, I mean not really. Troy doesn't do anything other than as far as I know. He told me that it helps with his anxiety or something like that. The fact that David was doing stronger drugs doesn't have anything to do with Troy at all. At least I don't think so. So maybe Marcus's blame on Troy is misplaced. I kind of understand why Troy was so aggressive with him. I'll have to talk to Marcus, though I'm sure that he knows to some degree. Why would you think Troy was to blame anyway? With a sigh, I explained the details of what happened on Tuesday. How Troy got mad that Marcus blamed him, and how he stormed off. I see. I guess it makes sense then, that Marcus feels that way. He sees David as a brother, more so than he does Troy, so of course he's protective of him. Of both of you. You and David are like family to him. It suddenly occurs to me that Marcus must definitely see me as his little brother or something. No wonder he's so protective. And I kinda don't like that. Wait, why not? Well, didn't you say Troy isn't to blame? Well, yeah, but I don't think he's exempt from blame either. But maybe Marcus was too harsh on him. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to him soon. Tell him to apologize. Right. How are you two getting along, by the way? Oh, fine. Good. We hang out a lot in school. Yeah, I've seen. You guys are basically joined at the hip nowadays. Yeah. Embarrassed, I pick up another bun, cutting it into miniature pieces and licking them off my fingertip. What if she thinks that we're flirting with each other? That would be awkward and embarrassing to admit. Not that we are, though. Are we? The we? It's cute. Almost like you're real brothers. Oh, right. Maybe. I hope people don't see us that way, though. I chuckle nervously, but she just stares at me, a weird energy about her that I can't quite understand. You okay? Can I confess something to you? Of course. Is it something bad? No, nothing bad, just a secret. Okay then, spill. Well... Okay, I've never ever told anyone this before, but I figured that you'd be the best person to tell this to. See, the thing is, I like Marcus. I feel my stomach churn and drop to my feet. Actually, no, scratch that. I'm pretty sure that I'm in love with him. She looks at me giddily with excitement only this kind of confession can give. And I only stare back at her. Wow. Seriously? I mean, you're not messing with me? I ask this, yet I feel like I'm very aware of what the answer is. Of course I'm serious. You think that I joke about something like that? She giggles nervously, her face flushing in clear embarrassment. Well, this is kind of out of the blue, isn't it? But it's true. I'm in love with him. I have been for a really long time now. My brain tries to rack through any memory of Karina and Marcus acting lovey-dovey, or any indication of her crush towards him, but nothing really comes to mind. Surprised? Yeah. Very. How long is a really long time? Oh, I don't know. Maybe since 3rd grade? Jesus Christ. 9, almost 10 years? Wow. Yeah. I was really in denial back then. Everyone liked him and I didn't want to be another face in the crowd. But after a while, it got impossible to ignore. That does sound like her, to not want to be like other people. And have you ever told them? Her happy expression turns into a more somber one, her smile dissipating completely. No, not yet at least. She speaks in a low hushed tone, as if she's ashamed of her answer. I've considered it, but I don't want to. What? Why not? Marcus is the kind of guy who you can tell when he really likes someone. At least most of us can. What? So once I'm absolutely sure that he likes me back, I'll be willing to confess. But even then, I want him to confess to me, not the other way around. After chasing someone for so long, isn't it okay to be selfish and want them to chase you back? I guess so, yeah. I knew you'd understand. I just hope that he realizes soon. Ah, that feels like a huge load off my chest. Funny, feels weirdly the opposite for me. Thanks for hearing me out, Callum. I'm really glad that we got to hang out today. You're such a great friend. I really missed you, dude. I give her my most genuine smile. I'm really glad to be back. I missed you too. She beams at me, then jumps from her seat, extending her hand towards me. Come on, let's get out of here. Any longer and we'll end up acting all high class. Heh, all pish-posh. Indubitably. I take her hand in mine, quietly noticing that they're just as cold as when we met up. Now at home and in my room, I take a moment to properly assess what went down today. Karina likes Marcus? I mean, I guess I really shouldn't be that surprised. Marcus has always been a bit of a heartthrob. But maybe I just didn't expect Karina herself to like someone like him. I thought that she'd be into like bad boys or something, not handsome jocks. But what I'm most weirded out by isn't her feelings, it's my own. Why do I feel so upset? I mean, obviously I don't like Marcus. He's too... Well, he's... Can I really not think of a reason? Do I actually like him? No, that's ridiculous. I've only been back for 4 days. I couldn't catch feelings for someone that fast, could I? Well, it's not like he's a stranger. And we have been hanging out every day. He's sweet and charming and fun to be around, not to mention really handsome. Wait, no. No. I am not about to do this. What kind of person gets a crush on the dude that their friend is in love with? A really shitty person, that's who. My phone chimes and I pull it out of my pocket, expecting it to be Dad, probably making sure that I got home okay. Instead, my screen illuminates another name. Marcus. My heart picks up a pace, but I angrily try to calm it down. So stupid. He's my friend. He's like a brother, right? Yeah, Marcus here is just checking up on little old Cal, who he sees as his little brother. Nothing more, nothing less. I unlock my phone and check the message that he sent me. Hey. Hi. What's up? How'd your date go? Lol, it was fine. We ate cinnamon buns. What? Lucky. Please tell me that you saved me some. I did. But I ate it. Oh. I see how it is. Not taking you anywhere tomorrow. You don't deserve it. Oh yeah? Where are you taking me anyway? I was gonna take you to the cafe outside of town. Bistro Blanc? Yeah. Ooh. Not anymore though. No, I'm sorry, I'll do anything. Anything? Anything realistic. I'll think about it. Be ready by 9, okay? Okay. Yeah, I'll see you then. Bye, till tomorrow. I put my phone on my nightstand with a smile. His style of texting is surprisingly cute for someone like him. Tomorrow's gonna be fun, I think. Just two dudes hanging out. As bros. As I drift off to sleep, my mind thinks about all the things that we could talk about when we see each other again. It's a surprisingly sunny day for the end of September. Having plans on the weekend is as exciting as it is embarrassing, since I was ready 2 whole hours before our meetup time. So I was just sitting there, on the couch, waiting for Marcus to come pick me up until I finally decided to wait for him on the sidewalk. I rubbed the red out of my cheeks, shaking my head. This is normal, right? To be a bit nervous when you're gonna go hang out with a friend? Yeah, it's just excitement. Excited to hang out with my bro. Ugh, still super weird to think of that. The sound of the now familiar old truck engine makes my ears perk up. Marcus's truck comes to a slow stop in front of my house, and he climbs out, making his way to me. Hey. Hi. Ready? Yep. Cool. Is your dad home? No. He's at work. Why? Oh, I just wanted to let him know that we were gonna go out. Trying to act all goody-goody in front of my dad, huh? My reputation has been tarnished. Gotta make a good impression somehow. I'm sure that he doesn't hate you, though. Couldn't hurt to butter him up a little. So, I was thinking, after the cafe, we could go to... Just then, Marcus's phone rings, cutting him off. Hold on. Ugh, it's my dad. Oh god, answer. Yeah, give me a sec. He presses his phone to his ear, and when he speaks, his voice is almost an octave lower. Hello? No, I'm out. At Callum's. He's a friend. The one that I went to see on Monday. Oh, okay. Is it... What? Now? But Callum and I were gonna... Dad, can't I just go later? Okay. Okay, sir. He hangs up, then lets out the angriest, most frustrated sigh that I've ever heard from him as he rubs his face like he has a massive headache. Fuck. Fuck. What'd he say? He wants me to go run an errand for him right fucking now. Asshole. I told him beforehand that I'd be with you today, and he drops this on me. He looks like he's about to take a swing at the truck or something, so I grab his hand almost instinctively and give it a squeeze. Hey, it's fine. We could just run that errand together, right? He looks at me now, his once angry eyes turning soft in surprise. Oh, are you like, okay with that? It might be pretty boring, and it won't be what we planned. I mean, it's better than both of us being alone, right? Besides, I'm sure that we can make it fun. He flashes me his signature smile that feels like the sun is hitting right at me. Alright then, if you say so. But I'm keeping the aux cord. What? Why? Because I don't trust your music taste. Because you're dumb. Come on, get in. The stupid shop closes at 12. He opens the passenger door for me and bows, as if I'm Cinderella and his old truck is the pumpkin carriage. Are you buttering me up now? Yup. Make sure to put a good word for me for your old man. I climb onto the truck and cross my legs, much like a princess would. I'll consider it. We drive along the familiar road that leads to the freeway outside of town. Apparently, this shop is a bit far away, which is why Marcus's dad wanted him to go right this second. Despite the sun, the air outside is nice and cool, so we have the windows down, the wind blowing my hair back wildly. The scenery of seemingly endless orange trees blurs right past us, and I find the whole scenario extremely serene. Romantic even. Suddenly, I feel Marcus's big hand grab my cheeks, not unlike the first day of school, albeit much more gently. I turn to him and he's smiling a soft, happy smile. What you thinking about? I playfully swat his hand away, a bit embarrassed. Ugh, nothing. So, what's with the smile? He smiles wider, almost grinning, and I defensively look away. What? I can't just be happy to hang out with you? I had intended for it to come out as jokingly mean, but it just ended up sounding pathetically sweet. Marcus just grins, his face breaking out into a rose blush. I look out the window before he could notice my own face mirroring his. Aww. Shut up. Did little old Callie miss me that much? I'm never gonna go anywhere with you ever again, just so you know. Sure you're not, and risk not smiling like that again. I hate you. Hee hee. Anyway, I was meaning to ask you, what did you do yesterday? Oh, we just bought some clothes and chatted. Cool, cool. What about? Karina's confession flashes through my mind, a secret of almost a decade entrusted to apparently just me. Girl stuff? He raises an eyebrow at me. As in, none of your business. Wow, so heartless. I just smile at him innocently. I see how it is. Fine, don't tell me. Keep your girly secrets. Oh, I will. Getting the thing for Marcus's dad was surprisingly quick. It was some high industrial pressure cleaner for his job, and by 11 it was already effortlessly mounted on Marcus's truck. Well, what do you want to do now? Well, we're already here. Might as well take a look around and see if we find anything cool. The plaza we're at is pretty small, but a lot nicer looking than the ones in Pricefield, so it wouldn't hurt to soak in the scene. Sounds good. Maybe they've got their own Bistro Blanc here. Or at least a bootleg version. I just wouldn't be the same. Right, only the best for His Majesty. Quite. A faint booming sound starts somewhere in the plaza, a man's voice cutting through the music periodically. Huh, must be some event. Wanna go check it out? We might as well. So we started walking, looking at stores and talking about nothing in particular. We pass by other people from time to time, and we usually get a passing glance or a side eye when they walk by us, and I soon realize it's because of Marcus. There aren't a lot of people who are as tall as him, and next to someone like me, he must look enormous. I bet people really do see us as brothers. Not that we look anything alike, but it must be something about how much older he looks than me. Not that it matters either. Friend, brother, what's the difference, really? It doesn't matter. Not at all. Hey Marcus? Am I like a brother to you? Ripping the bandage right off, aren't we? He stops dead in his tracks, looking at me in complete shock. What? Why would you? It's just... I don't know. Karina said that you might, and it's just been on my mind lately. Where this sudden burst of honesty is coming from, I have no idea, but I just want to hear him say it instead of going on with the what if. Hearing me say this, Marcus looks a little uneasy, as if he knows something I don't. What else did she say? Doesn't this feel familiar? Not much else. Just that you're protective of me and David, cause we're like family to you? He thinks about this for a second, that stone cold barrier back up in an instant. I see. Is that it? He sighs a long, frustrated sigh. He sure likes to dance around the truth, doesn't he? It's true, in a sense. David is probably the closest thing that I've ever had to a brother. And me? He looks me right in the eye with a seriousness that I am not quite sure is feigned or not, but it runs a chill through my spine all the same. You're different. I wait a moment, but he doesn't offer me anything more. So I press on. Different how? His stony look is slowly but surely being replaced with one of unease, almost bashful. You just are, okay? My heart starts to race, the direction of this conversation going down a road that I know all too well, and I'm not sure that I should be leading it towards there. And yet, I press on. That's not really an answer. He frowns, growing increasingly more flustered and annoyed at my prying. You really want to know? He takes a step towards me, his huge frame engulfing my vision. Yeah, I do. He's much closer now, inches away, close enough to hope that he can't hear how fast my heart beats. Fine, I'll show you. He practically whispers this, and I shudder at his voice, his face uncomfortably near my own, leaning slowly. I close my... Win, win, win! We're giving away great prizes, so don't miss it. The man's voice from earlier booms loudly, very close to us, startling us both enough to make us jump. Marcus steps back with an embarrassed, almost disorientated look, but he quickly composes himself. Oh, right. That event thingy. Yeah, almost forgot. Come on, let's see what we can win. Ah, yeah, let's. The event thingy turned out to be pretty lame, unfortunately. It was a spin the wheel type of thing, with prizes ranging from a tote bag to absolutely nothing. Seriously, there was just blank spots on the wheel. So dumb. I won a pen. Yay. And Marcus won a coupon for a smoothie shop somewhere in the plaza. The lucky bastard. Well, that wasn't worth the hype. Not one bit, no. Why not just use this coupon now? Not like we're gonna be back anytime soon. Sure, smoothies sound great. And so, pretending that little joke moment between us never happened, we make our way to the smoothie shop. You're crazy. I swear, 8 whole hot dogs in that dude's mouth. I'm not kidding. With the bun? With the bun? I don't believe you. Give him $10 and he'll do it. You'll see. Yeah, you can't fool me. We go inside the shop, stepping up to the counter and looking up the menu. What the hell is a banana nutsi? A what? A banana nutsi. I can't hear you. Can you repeat that? He grabs my cheeks, making my lips pout again, just like this morning. Oof, okay, sorry. Just acting the barista. Hearing this, the barista, smoothie maker, turns around to look at us, a sweet smile on his face. An incredibly cute, feminine-looking skunk greets us, his sharp eyes bright and in a natural shade of purple. Hey ya, what can I get? Marcus? Marcus, letting go of me, looks at our barista in shock. Actually, it's more like confusion. Aster? The Aster, I guess, flashes him a bright smile, his purple eyes gleaming. It's been a while. What's up? Despite such a warm greeting, Marcus's demeanor is oddly aloof, which is really unlike him, I'd say. Fine. Same old. Good to hear. So, who's your friend? Astor's eyes fall on me now, his gaze piercing me to the point that I feel naked. This is Callum. Oh, this is Callum? Huh? Yeah, this is Callum. So, he's finally back? Astor flashes me a smile that I can only describe as sickeningly sweet. I'm sorry, you must be so weirded out right now. I was really good friends with David before he left, so I've heard a thing or two about you. The way he says that makes it seem like he didn't really want to hear a thing or two about me. But something he says catches my attention. You were friends with David? Oh yeah, we would hang out a lot. It's a shame he left. You're here now, though, so who knows what the future holds? I get the strange feeling that Astor knows more about me than I'm comfortable with. But if he was friends with David, he might have some information on what happened. Any intel outside of the people who personally know me should be useful after all. Astor, I think I'll remember that name. After ordering our smoothies, we part ways with Astor. Mark is very eager to be out of that shop. We walk quietly outside for a bit, just sipping on our drinks, which are surprisingly really good. But obviously, I wasn't going to let this go unnoticed. So, what was all that about? Why were you acting so weird? What do you mean? Was I acting weird? He's lying through his teeth, and I can easily tell, but it's a little unnerving how natural and cool he sounds when he lies. Yeah, you were unfriendly. Yeah, well, maybe I don't really like Astor. Why not? Just vibes. Seriously? Yeah. Does his birth chart not align with yours or something? Haha. Seriously though, he's just kind of fake, I guess. Kinda felt that too, but I didn't want to judge someone so quickly. Glad Marcus confirmed that for me. Did David like him? You could say that. How close were they? Honestly, no clue. They would hang out somewhere out of town, so I never went with them. So how do you know him? I don't know. We'd go to the same parties, I guess. His answers are extremely vague, like he doesn't want me to know the full story, which just makes me all the more curious, but also pretty annoyed. It's increasingly frustrating trying to get information from Marcus, since he gives me so little every time that I ask. I see. Yeah. How's the shake, by the way? Fine. Yeah? You like it? You okay? Why do you baby me so much, Marcus? He's quiet, looking at me like he didn't expect me to call him out. What do you mean? You know exactly what I mean. I asked you something and you never gave me a straight answer. Like, you don't want to tell me. Well, I don't. You do. And I don't know if it's to shield me from this stuff or whatever, but I'm kind of sick of it. Cal, And then you say that I'm, like, not a little brother to you and expect me to believe you. I scoff and turn away from him, my hands shaking a bit from the anger. I didn't mean to get so pissed at him, but I also don't think anything that I said was untrue. So I stand my ground, walking towards the truck in long, quick steps. Cal, wait. I don't. Cal! I feel him grab my shoulder and turn me around to face him, his eyes somber and serious. What? You're not like a brother to me. Really? It kind of feels that way, Marcus. Cal, I don't want our time together to be this. Talking about things that bring the mood down. With all the shit that's happened with your mom, I just want you to feel happy. So yeah, I'm trying not to bring stuff up that might make you upset. Marcus, that's like the literal definition of babying me. Thinking that I'll get sad like a toddler because you tell me what's going on. I'm not a little kid anymore. You need to realize that, Marcus, because you've always treated me like one. No, I just want to protect you. I don't need you to protect me. Why can't you just see me as your equal, as someone you help but not protect? There is a deafening silence between us, the somewhat empty plaza seemingly frozen in place with us. His dark green eyes look into mine, piercing me, making me so desperately want to know what thoughts are being held behind them. But finally he speaks. I'm sorry, Cal. I didn't really realize that you felt like that. That's how things are, how they've always been. I just care about you, Cal, a lot. I hate seeing you hurt or sad, and if I can do something to not make you feel that way, I will. So I try to protect you from everything. But it's not because I see you as less than me or because you're younger or whatever. He reaches for my hand and grabs it, softly rubbing his thumb across my knuckle. I want to tell you these things, the things that happened, the truth. You deserve that much. And I promise that I will, from now on, because I want to help you as my friend, as my equal. You're not my little brother. That isn't why I want to protect you. My heart starts to race again, this feeling all too similar to the one not so long ago. Despite my better judgment, I lock my fingers with his, gripping it tightly. He squeezes back, his face turning pink. So, what am I to you exactly? Why I ask this I couldn't say, but there is a strong, compelling urge telling me to push forward to get the answer that I want to hear. He looks at me and I look at him, and sparks fly in my stomach, bouncing around wildly. My grip tightens on him, subconsciously wanting to physically squeeze the words out of him. Is he looking at my lips? Callum, you... A shrilling ring comes out of my back pocket, my phone buzzing incessantly. You should answer that. It could be your dad. Right, yeah. With shaking hands, I take my phone out of my pocket, silently cursing at my dad for his impeccable timing. But checking the screen, I realize that it's not my dad. It's Troy. I stare at the screen for a second, the phone still ringing loudly in my palm, then answer the call and press the phone to my ear. Hello? Hey, Callum. His voice is awkward and low, which gives me the impression that he was gathering up the courage to call me. How are you? Fine? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Hey, listen, can we, can we talk? Oh, like, right now? No, tomorrow. If you, can, of course. Marcus looks at me with morbid curiosity, the conversation a little too uncomfortable to be between a father and a son. Yeah, of course. What time? I'll let you know. And, Callum? Yeah? Don't tell Marcus. I want it to be just you and me. Whether he knows I'm currently with Marcus or just thinks that I tell him is anyone's best guess, really. Oh, okay then. I'll be there. Thanks, Callum. I'll, see you tomorrow. Alright, see ya. He hangs up and I'm left with the confused Marcus to deal with. Who was that? Although Troy told me not to tell him, I do consider letting him know about it. But if I did, he might insist on tagging along, and I don't want him there. He might try to derail the conversation, and I think that I really need this one-on-one with Troy. So I lie. It was Dad. He, wants to know when I'll be back. Oh. I can tell that he doesn't fully believe me, but thankfully he doesn't question it either. Well then, we should probably get going. Yeah, well that's... The car ride back is painfully quiet, but neither of us try to make conversation. There is a strange, uncomfortable air between us that hangs around like bad perfume. Marcus Evergreen's eyes are dark and cold, locked onto the road ahead. The sunset casts down on our town, on the familiar road to home, and on his strong, serious face. And, as I look out the window with the autumn leaves falling down like pieces into place, I have one crushing, terrifying thought. I'm starting to catch feelings for him. That's where I'm going to leave it for today. So, confessions, I guess? I guess that's how you can summarize this chapter. Obviously, if you hadn't noticed, I'm cutting it off, or trying to cut it off, at the end of the chapters as they ended, with the updates. Depending on how long the episodes end, pretty much every video is just going to be one chapter. But yeah. So, Karina confessed that she liked Marcus. I kind of get the feeling that Marcus was at least twice that close to confessing that he likes Callum. And Callum obviously likes Marcus, but he doesn't want to admit it. And I'm pretty sure that Troy is going to try to confess to Callum. I mean, it could be that, or he just wants to talk to him about what happened to David. And on the subject of David, there's this Astra person, who, at least according to how it was written, makes it seem like they know a lot more about what happened to David than anyone else. And perhaps that might just be because they were David's new fling. Maybe they were the one enabling the bad decisions that David was doing. Or maybe they were the ones that were encouraging David to leave. Whether or not it was being done as a, like, yeah, dude, like, there's nothing for you here, might as well leave. Or, like, I mean, it could be, that could have been done with either a good intention or a bad intention, These are high schoolers that we're talking about too, which is really funny because when you think back to the memory that Callum had at the beginning of the art chapter, whatever, act, they're like little kids right there. And again, speaking of David, especially when speaking of David in the past, it looks like he was very impulsive and an adrenaline junkie, which probably points to something else that was going on with David from a very early on, like from his childhood even. Maybe whatever it is that he was experiencing, whether it was like ADHD or something like that, that was causing him to behave so spontaneous, but sometimes a little dangerously. I know ADHD doesn't always do that, but considering I had a cousin who had ADHD who, let's just say, is no longer with us because of the way he would sometimes behave. Perhaps this is what happened with David, but we'll have to see. Anyway, so what are your thoughts so far? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play When I Knew You and, read further along than I am at this point, you can do so by going down into the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download the game and play it yourself. And they do have a Patreon, so for the other story, What It Feels Like, if you would like to be able to know how that story ends because at the time of recording this specific video, there's only one more chapter left. So if you want to support, I guess, the author and then maybe get early access to that one last chapter before everyone else does when it comes out, then you can do so by going down to the other link in the description for their Patreon. And I will also be including all my own support links, you know, like in case you want to become a channel member, view these videos before when they get scheduled. I don't know, if you want, that's one form of support for me, or my Ko-fi in case you want to, you know, just give like a one-time donation, or my Throne in case you want to buy something on my wish list or whatever. I don't know. It's there. It's all there. Buy me stuff. It's the holidays. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.